Okay guys, welcome back today, and firstly I'd like to say I'm sorry I haven't put any videos out in a while. Like obviously there's not been a lot of discovery in the GTA 5 mystery, and I don't want to just put out anything without it being good. So, but I do have a video for you today. It's a theory, but it's more of a ask for you guys' help, because if this theory is right, then it is going to take more than me to be able to do it. I'm going to need some help from you guys, and I know that you've been giving me a lot of support in the comment section, so thank you very much for that. Anyway, I have my pardon me. I have my map of GTA 5 up on the wall today, so I can show you what I'm talking about today. Now, what we're talking about today is the new evidence that was discovered in the last, I think it was like month and a half or something like this, and this was the spider's web that were found at Mount Chiliad. Now, if I put the spider's web on the map, I'm ruining my map, but who cares, it's for the Mount Chiliad mystery. So I'm going to be using the red pen for that particular, like symbolising where the spider's web is. Now, we also do know that there is in fact another one that was found more recently, and that was in Palito Bay, and its exact location is around here. Now, the interesting point that you've probably already noticed is there's a lot of lines on my map, and this actually plays into the theory that I'll be showing you today. Now, if you look at the Maze Bank Tower fountain, which a lot of people have as saying that it symbolises something to do with the Mount Chiliad mystery, I'm just going to pop it in front of the screen right there. Now, sorry, I apologise for the, sorry I got a cold. I apologise for the bad quality, but you can go and look for yourself and you'll see that it actually is made up of like a big circle in the middle and 6 smaller circles around the outside. Whether they're smaller or not, I'm not sure, it doesn't really matter. But it's made up of 7 total circles with 1 in the middle surrounded by 6. Now, I find this interesting in terms of my theory today because it kind of matches very well with what I have to say. Now, we know that in GTA 5 there are in fact 3 UFOs that are in the sky, that are working, if you will. I'm going to use blue to represent the UFOs. So we've got UFO Fort Secunda. Now, I've actually matched the UFOs up perfectly with where they appear in the actual game. So you've got one over the bunker, Fort Secunda, you have one in the hippie camp, and you have one on Mount Chiliad. Now, you also have one though that is crashed, but it still is a UFO, so I'm going to include that in with the theory. So we now have 4 UFOs. Now, what I've done, these lines represent the connections between each of the UFOs. So you got one from here to here, 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 yeah. So basically you're matching every single UFO up, and it actually comes up with 6 lines now, which is weird, and they all converge, not all of them, like 3 converge onto Mount Chiliad, and it's in the middle of the actual triangle. Now, if we resemble this to the look of the fountain, we can see there are some resemblances. So you have the centre being Mount Chiliad, and you have 6 surrounding it. You have 6 kind of lines surrounding it. Now, what's interesting in terms of this spider web idea is that it's a bold idea, I'll admit, but it is possible that there could be 7 spiders webs on the map. Now, bear with me for a second, because it will make a lot more sense why I think this in a bit. We now have this connection, between the fountain and the map of Mount Chiliad where the UFOs are and everything like this. But it's interesting to note that the second spider's web that was found actually matches perfectly in line with 2 other UFOs between Fort Secunda, Mount Chiliad, and the line continues and passes directly over where the second spider's web is found. Using this same principle, we can assume that if this is correct, that we could assume that there are more spider's webs scattered along the lines, not necessarily between the 2 UFOs, just on the line that connects them. So they pass a line that connects between that, also passes between 2 UFOs. Now, saying this, that I have thought a lot of this map, and I've made a prediction of where I think the other spiders' webs may be found just based on like bridges, areas around the idea. And this is what I want your help with. I want you because I'm not going to be able to scour all the locations, and it spawns at such a late time in the day, so I'm going to have trouble finding them all. But if you guys could help me out and tell me if you find anything in the comment section, that would be fantastic. But let's get into the locations I think we should be looking at. Firstly, Sandy Shores. You'll notice that this line connects perfectly between this and goes straight over Sandy Shores around this area. So some point around here. Sorry, my map's going down. So some point around here, I think there could be a spider's web. Everyone has their own map, they can see where I'm actually looking at. But yeah, somewhere here. I also think it is possible that it could be here, because the line does seem to perfectly go over the bridge here that runs from the river into the Alamo Sea. So that, obviously, this one was a bridge. So it is possible that could also play into effect. So them are the two locations I think could be for this particular line. Let's move on to this particular line. Now, this is the one I'm not so sure on, because like I said before, this one matches perfectly with this. But it is possible that my calculations of either one could be out slightly and it could move on to that. But just based on the factor of what it is, I'm going to say that's not true. So I'm not going to take that into account as being on this line. What I'm going to say though is that this could be where the next web could be found. Some point in Grapeseed along this line, because it does match perfectly. I don't think there's actually a bridge anywhere else here, and I don't think it's going to be around here because that would be way too close to the first spider's web. Moving on to this line. Now, this line we have a number of locations for it to work at. We do have a bridge in the rough area here. I don't think that matches up perfectly, so I'm not going to say that is one. But we do have a lot of things here. We have the lumber yard here, and we have this. This is where my prediction is going to be for another spider's web. Hopefully you guys can see this. Sorry if it keeps going dark. And yeah, that's basically my prediction. We may have one up here, like at some point in Palito Bay. I'm not 100% sure, because I think that will fall into another one maybe. Now, we're going on to the inner parts of the actual three in the middle. Now, we've done this one. That's the one spiders we've got at the moment. And we've got this one. Now, this one could be a number 2. It can either be, I think, here. No, sorry, 3. Here. Here. Or in Palito Bay. Now, it's interesting to note that Palito Bay, it goes directly through a number of buildings, so it is possible that any one of those buildings could have an archway or something like that where the spider web could be. This location I'm going to say is probably the least likely, purely for that I don't think there is a bridge there. I can't see anything on the map of being a bridge there or anything like that. It is nice to note that it does say Galilei, which is obviously the first name of Galileo Galilei, so I think I just butchered his name, sorry about that. And the observatory, which no doubt has the spider's web on the door, so could be a reference to that. But yeah, so here, fat line. Now, the other reason I don't think it could be this is because I'm noticing a pattern between the inner lines and the outer lines, which I'll discuss after I've done this one. Now, for this one, for the final line, there isn't really much here, and I don't think it would be here anyway, purely because of the fact that, once again, it's close to the last one. But it could be here, and any point here. Now, the problem with this one is it could go straight into Los Santos. If that is a fact, we could have a problem, but I think it's going to mostly stay up north. Now, like I was saying before, with the pattern between the outer and the inner lines, it does seem that the outer lines do tend to be on the actual line, whilst the inner lines appear to be outside, but still on the line, just not inside the triangle. Which is, it's an interesting way to look at it, but it is possible that could just be a pattern they put in to throw us off. Who knows? Once again, thank you guys for watching. If you do get time, please be sure to check out these locations at 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning when the spiders do spawn. And tell me if you find anything in the comment section below. Tell me if you think this theory is absolute rubbish or absolute fantastic. And I will see you in my next video.